We have makeup in.
What's up, guys? Tim over here at Higgs Garage with my little brother Patrick. We got his Ford 8N, 1950, I believe, right? Yeah, 51. 50, 8N over here. We got to do a couple things to it. We're trying to get it ready to go. He's got his property in northern Missouri that he needs to clean up a little bit before he does more of a restoration, really, to it. So first thing he needs to do to get it running properly is to replace this fuel tank. It has a lot of debris and sediment and starting to rust inside, so we're going to go ahead and take the hood off, replace the fuel tank. We're going to do like a seafoam treatment for the valves. Clean them up a little bit, and then we're going to check all the clearances on the valves and adjust as needed. We're also going to replace the serpentine belt, I believe.
Yep.
And what other things?
We're gonna check the wiring harness. We're gonna make up the new harness. We're gonna see what we need while we have the hood off.
Yep. We did already make the harness for the headlights, run up all the way up to the switch and put a new switch in, but the rest of the wiring was looking pretty rough. So we're gonna go ahead and assess that with the hood off and see how hard it's gonna be to go ahead and make a new harness and clean that all up and make it look nice and neat. So I think that's everything. Was there anything else we was gonna do?
We'll find out more when we get to where we're getting.
All right, so we got the hood off, and now we just got to get this gas tank unbolted here, fuel bowl removed, so that'll unscrew out of there, and then it has, looks to be 4 of these nuts here that have cotter pins through them. Sorry, the camera wouldn't focus. And sorry for the background noise, it's a little chilly here, so. Anyways, I'm gonna set you guys up while we get this thing pulled off. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dump this and check out and see what the fuel looks like. Just kidding, I can edit it. Dude. Holy shit. Okay. What? Look at that. That's nasty. Those are big old chunks.
Yeah.
That'll clog you up.
So this is why we're going into a clear container. I don't know if you can see in there or not. See that sediment in the bottom. But we were checking to see just how much this old tank was putting in through the carburetor.
Pretty good amount.
Yeah.
And that's why we're replacing the tank. And I know you can recondition those tanks and clean them out and stuff like that, but I don't know what was the new one? Like 100 and 200 bucks?
It was like 150 bucks.
It's not even worth the time to put chemicals in it and then try to reseal it so it doesn't rust or flake off again. It's just better to get a new one.
Yep. So. You don't want to be doing this every year.
Yeah, oh yes. What's up, dude?
The old one.
And there was only not even a gallon of gas in there.
It's a pretty new tank. Let's see.
Merry Christmas.
And I guess this is supposed to be the vent. It looks like it's just a hole punch.
It was on the other tank too.
Yep.
Oh.
We'll put this one in, see how it works. Here's the fuel bowl. This goes up into the tank, and you have a pre-screen on it. Then you open this up, this valve, and that lets it go down into the fuel bowl. It catches a sediment in here. And then this line comes out and runs to the carburetor on the other side. So we are going to take this apart, pull this bail off, drop this bowl out of here, and we're going to clean all of this up, clean this screen, try to make this thing look a little bit better before we put it in the new tank.
All right, so let's get this new gas tank placed back in this hood. All right, so I'm gonna get working on some of these wires. As you can see, they're old, crusty. Most of them are on the other side, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start with this little guy right here. I'll get that taken off, and we'll make a new one. Watch out, buddy. And we'll kind of work our way down to the side, and probably take that little toolbox off right there, so we can get back here and finish making everything. So. Yep, good job, bud. All right, so old one, new one. He does want to put this loom on there just to make it look a little nicer, so we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll get it put back on the tractor and move on to the next wire. All right, so now we got that finished up. We're gonna put it back on the tractor. All right, so yeah, we got that toolbox off, and we got all the wires exposed here. Go ahead and pop this off. I got my little helper over here, little Tim. Got those out. Let's go ahead and put our clip back so we don't lose it. There you go, bud. No, we're good. Back up now so I can show YouTube. All right, so we got our wires all exposed here, so I am going to kind of untangle what I can to figure out which ones to take off and remake. And I'll probably just do one at a time just so I can get everything put back the way run it where it's supposed to go, and put it back the way it's supposed to. I don't have a wiring schematic for this. We're going to go ahead and order a manual for this tractor and the Jubilee for when we go ahead and restore that one. But in the meantime, I'll just do it this way. I'll feel a little safer. It'll probably take a little bit longer, but that's okay. So I'm going to put you guys on fast forward. We're going to go ahead and get some wires off and get some wires made.
Let's see it later.
Okay, so are you helping?
Yeah.
Are you the master mechanic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort it out a little bit. It looks kind of like a mess. I guess he's got it. No, so the wires kind of look like a mess. However, we got everything sorted how we need it. That way we can make measurements on our new wire. We had to substitute one color, yellow for orange, so yellow is now going to be orange. The ends are on one side. That way we can get everything plugged up and start routing them the way that we need them. The other end is not, and the reason I did that is so that we can run them where we want them and then run wire loom over them to kind of clean them up and make them look really nice. And then we'll go ahead and solder the other ends on and connect the opposite end. So if that makes any sense, we'll put one end on and kind of work our way down. And as we're working our way down, we will decide how many looms we need. We're going to try to use hopefully one, but it might be 2 or 3 just because we can't split outside of the loom. Once we start going, we can't have wires coming out the side. So that's how we're going to do that. We did have a few other wires that were smaller up in here that were going to be by themselves, so we have all those made. And what I did when I made them was, since they're red, the wire's red, you can't see it, went ahead and put red heat shrink on there so that we can see what color. This one is actually blue. We didn't have blue heat shrink that would fit, so it's going to stay black. But we have all the little ones up there, and we'll go ahead and start taking these apart, putting them on, and running the rest down, looming them as we go. That way we can make it look nice and neat. And we're actually going to run these all up underneath the hood, so that the only spot you see wire would be coming up from about right here. So looks kind of like a mess, and you can actually see where some of them were damaged, like right here. Damn it, this was a new one, but. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get this stuff put on, and we'll just bring you along for the ride. We'll show you when it's all finished.
It smells very good.
Go. All right, so while he's doing that, some of the other things that we did was we put a new belt on here. The other belt was kind of wore out, so while we have the hood off, we threw a new belt on.
I'm helping too.
And then we got our new exhaust clamp and exhaust, so we put those on and got that all tightened down. So hopefully that'll fix our exhaust leak that we had.
Yeah, no more exhaust leak. And then here's the old one. Say she's dented up pretty good.
This is another one good.
Then we got some new gas, and we got some sea foam that we're gonna throw in there too and try to clean it out.
Coming together. After we get this done, we'll just be ready to take it all apart and paint it. After he's done using it, that is. So, all right. Check out the wire one more time.
And we'll put it together with all new hardware. All new hardware for the hood and everything else too.
so we got the harness pretty much done. As you guys can see, everything is covered and coated with silicone. That way they're watertight. All the connections are sealed off with heat shrink and wrapped with the wire loom. So now we're gonna go ahead, mount the toolbox back on, and then once we get the hood on, we can put a couple zip ties or wire ties, whatever you wanna call it, to hold this stuff up out of the way and kind of clean it up for the rest of the way. But everything turned out pretty good. Here's all most of the wiring. Doesn't look like much, but they look like a bunch of spaghetti whenever we were taking it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this toolbox on. All right, so we got all the wiring done. We got the new gas tank on. We got the fuel bowl with new fuel and everything hooked up. Here's your first start. Oh yeah, and a new exhaust. Fire right up. And as you can see, if you're familiar with the 8-ins, normally the wire runs down right there's a clip and then all up, and you can see the mess of wires there, but we have everything hidden up in here. It does come down here to the generator and right here to the starter. So here a little bit of click every now and then over here. Your exhaust, yeah, I do hear that click.
It might be a valve. Needs to get adjusted.
We didn't make it to the valves, but we got the wiring done, exhaust on, new fuel tank in, and as you can see, it fired right up. First try. Make sure your headlight, yep. Here, let's see them. Yep. All right, so now what we're doing is putting about a half bottle of seafoam in the gas tank, and then we're gonna go ahead and run a can of it through the intake here to try to clean up some of those valves before we take them off and adjust them, or check them at least. Always make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Set up. So my phone died, guys. I have no idea where it died at on the process, but right now we're just doing seafoam in through the intake between these valves. You can see it makes it smoke pretty good. We still have a little bit of an exhaust leak right here we gotta address, but much better than it was.
Getting smoky in here. We also put seafoam directly into the fuel tank, and then also I put a little bit of seafoam straight into the oil too, so it's getting the full treatment.
Make sure you do this in a well-ventilated area. This is CGI, it's all fog machine.
Here we are out here in the clean world. And that is all coming out of the tractor.
Running good. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap on the video on the Ford 8N 1950. We got the wiring harness done. We got the gas tank replaced, exhaust replaced, serpentine belt replaced, and a couple new pieces of hardware on it. He's got some other plans for it. I'll go ahead and let him explain.
We're just gonna tidy things up. We got a new steering wheel, seat cover, stuff like that we're gonna do before we paint it.
And we're really happy with the wiring harness. As you guys can see, I'll put a before and after picture. On how clean it looks compared to the before, on where they run the wire from the factory on the side of the engine and everything. You can see a lot of them, and the way we hit them, I think it looks super clean. I really like the way it turned out. And the tractor, as you guys could tell, runs perfectly. Idle's great. Everything seems to be just about perfect on it. The valves, when we put that seafoam in there, we decided that we're going to go ahead and run the tractor quite a bit and let it do its thing, clean it up, and then we'll pull the covers off and adjust it. So probably in the next video that you guys see this tractor, we'll be adjusting those valves or checking them at least, and then adding the other new things that he's got coming in the mail. So, got anything else?
That's it.
Tim, you got anything to say?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, hitting that notification bell so you're staying up to date with all the tractors, all the other vehicle content. We got Hummer, F-150, all that stuff coming up. And we appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.